Alright everybody, this is Jason again, JNC on the Discord. I just figured I would do a cold and dark start and a little demo of the F-16 here. I know there's been some people wondering how to fly it. I'm not a professional or anything, but I'll give it a try and maybe you'll learn something. So you got the show hide throttle here. Click that off and then flight control system, battery on. This is the afterburner switch. So if you turn this on, the only way the afterburner will work is if you hit toggle afterburner, like if you have a keybind set. So if you want burner to work without hitting a button, just keep it back like this. So you want to turn your JFS starter on and engine start, and then you can unhide the throttle here. Turn on some anti-collision lights, beacon lights, nav lights, and these are your formation lights if you want them on. I normally turn on all these switches here, and then arm the seat, landing lights on. Let the engine come to life here. This is Coningsby. So a little bit about the F-16. You got your MFDs here. You got all your navigation controls here. Your UFC, your HUD. You got your AOA indicator here for landing, and it's also right here. I'm not going to get into too much. It's pretty straightforward to fly it. Pitot heat there. You got your de-ice here. Covers chocks and ladder. Alright, so we're up and running now. For this test, I do have the G effect off because this plane can pull more than the sim can deal with at this time. I normally have been keeping it on lately. It just keeps you on your toes more as a pilot. But all right, so I got the air show demo team F-16 here, F-16C. Let's get going. Park and brake off. So the F-16 is a what they call an energy fighter. You're going to want to keep your airspeed generally over 325 knots for maneuvers, and your AOA, try to keep it 10 or 12, somewhere in that range, and it'll perform a lot better for you. I normally take off with the nose wheel steering in low. Flaps are automatic in this plane. Give it a little up trim, and there's a trim gauges down here. So you got your pitch trim and aileron trim there. So let's get going. Start rotating around 140, 150, gear up, build some airspeed here. I don't know the exact flight profile for an air show, but I'll try to just do some maneuvers here. What I remember from an air show anyway.
altitude, 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 altitude,
See the angle of attack, that 10, 12. But I don't find the airplane to be twitchy or
altitude,
anything like
altitude,
that. Come in here for a
altitude,
hard
altitude,
pull, and it goes right around in a circle just fine at low altitude.
altitude, 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 altitude,
That's what they would call a max rate turn at an air show. Yeah, it's just, you gotta be a little easy on the controls. You can't just jerk it around all the time, and it'll perform well for you.
altitude, altitude,
There's a 8.5 G turn at 7 degrees angle of attack. Speed's coming down because I don't have the power in, but you see when you pull hard and you don't give it power, you can see the angle of attack going up on the bottom of the screen there. That's what you don't want. So anytime you see your angle of attack going up over 10 or 12,
altitude,
you need
altitude,
to regain some energy, and it'll perform a lot better. Like you can fly this plane at 325 knots, and it'll stay pretty good. Like I said, I'm not like a professional
altitude,
like some of the guys in the Discord, but I don't see any issues with this plane.
altitude, 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 altitude,
It's got great performance. And you can also have really good slow performance. I remember watching an air show as a kid, and the pilot did what's called a high alpha pass, put the gear down. I'll try to create one here. I've never done one in the sim before, but we'll give it a try. So I got the gear down there. Just gonna feed in some pitch and slow down. Still got full control of everything. It's pretty much maintaining the same altitude. Get your stall horn, but it's just the little nannies barking at you. See, it's flying high alpha, gear down, and you can light the burner and pull the gear up, and she'll start accelerating again. That's just one of the planes that you have to really keep an eye on your speed and your G's and your angle of attack. But you keep that 5 degrees, nose low, and start feeding in the G, and it holds its energy pretty good. And right there, G limit, it's holding it right there. 397 knots. You know, you just have to practice, just like anything else.
Altitude. Altitude.
It's very controllable. It's not twitchy. It just goes where you point it. It just flies great.
Altitude. 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 Altitude.
Obviously, you wouldn't be doing Mach 1 at an air show, but you know, it's a simulator. Have fun with it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say other than keep the speed up, watch your angle of attack, don't be just yanking the stick back full and expecting it to, you know, fly great all the time. That's just not what planes do. You got to keep the airspeed up. In general, I love the F-16. It flies great. And then we'll do a landing here, just to show you that. So what you would do for a regular military landing, I would say, is you'd be coming over the airfield at about 350 knots, and then you would brake. This would be a hasty one here, but you're coming over the airfield at 350 knots. Do a brake for about a 4G pull. Drop your gear. On this plane, I think it's once you get below about 185, 186 knots, then you can start trimming it. So you want to keep trimming up until your AOA is I think in this plane around 8 or 10. We'll see what the donut says. About 8, 9, somewhere in there. Start turning. A little bit off there, but this is just a hasty video. I'm not going to go into great detail about every little thing, but just enough to give you get you the point across. So you want to control your airspeed and your aiming point with the throttle and the stick. Just try to keep it, keep it centered up there as best you can. Somebody spawned in front of me. Should have done it with his multiplayer off, but I went over him. So come down, light throttle, and then just ease back on the throttle and guide it right in. Speed brake out. You can keep the nose up if you want for some aero braking, and just keep pulling the stick back till it drops the nose, and that's about it, really. Like I said, I'm not a professional pilot or anything. I just fly the sim for fun, but I know enough about it to show that the plane can fly well if you do everything within reason. But that's my little video. Maybe you can learn something from it, maybe you can't, maybe you'll laugh at it, I don't know, but that's how I fly the F-16. So have a good day.